Here today, we've got Rick Volker in the Sukhoi. This is an Su-26. Here he is blowing smoke all over the runway. Look straight ahead, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you that have not seen Rick fly in the last 15 years, let me explain what you've been missing. Rick came up through the U.S. Aerobatic contest categories, dominating the highest regional levels of competition, flying Pitts and Sukhoi aircraft. He won the Canadian-American Aerobatic Challenge in 2004. He's also one of a handful of pilots in the world who has flown all three fighters of the Battle of Britain: the Spitfire, the Hurricane, and the Messerschmitt EF-109Es. He's one of an even smaller number of pilots who's flown them at the edge of their performance envelope, as you're seeing him fly his Sukhoi as such here today. You see, he's acted as the test pilot for the only Messerschmitt EF-109G to fly in North America. Look at this, he just decided to turn his aircraft into a helicopter. Now he's pointed that nose right back down at the ground, coming at you here into that aerobatic box, perfectly maintaining his altitudes and everything that he needs, his configurations to keep himself safe and putting on quite a show. Look at this, diving right back up, rolling over, and pops it straight up to the sky. He's such a freestyle guy. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. This airshow demonstration is one of many that he's performed. You see, he's also flown the World War II Spitfire Mk9 in one of the most graceful aerobatic airshow solos ever seen. And he followed this with his participation as a member of the Canadian Heritage Flight Team, flying the Spitfire in formation with the CF-18. Recently, Rick flew the Harvard, also known as the D6, like it was a modern aerobatic aircraft, with maneuvers such as rolling turns, tail slides, snap rolls, avalanches, and hammerheads. Here he is, folks, show setter Rick Volker in the Sukhoi. Now, if you're watching him perform these maneuvers and thinking, oh my gosh, this guy knows what he's doing. Oh my goodness, he's so good at this. He's somehow keeping it all straight in his head and getting these control inputs just exactly as they're needed. Well, guess what? He's an aerobatic competency evaluator for the airshow industry. So he's got to be the best of the best, right? He's right here at the Power and Pines Air and Space Open House. Not only that, but Rick is featured in many publications. He's been on the Discovery Channel and on Aviators TV. Also, a contributing writer for Sport Aerobatics and Warbird magazines. He's also been profiled in magazines such as Flying, Plane and Pilot, and Air and Space Smithsonian. Most importantly, for his experimentation with alternate fuels. See, the aviation world is scrambling to find an unleaded substitute for fuel. And Rick is one of the few independent testers in aviation to provide this test data. In 2011, Rick's test with biofuel contributed to the science for one of the promising replacements for traditional gasoline. He feels strongly that to guarantee the future of general aviation, environmental issues must be tackled. In this performance today, he's demonstrating freestyle aerobatic flying, which can be better defined as being outside the normal box of aerobatic maneuvers. You see, most aerobatic pilots stick to traditional figures that you've seen many times at air shows, but Rick's aircraft has performance characteristics that can best take advantage of gyroscopic effects. The big propeller on this thing basically acts like a child's gyroscope toy. So if you think of a person holding onto a spinning bicycle wheel by the axles. When you try and turn the spinning wheel sideways, well, it doesn't go as planned. You see, there's a strong effect that pushes the wheel in a different direction than intended. A pilot must develop an understanding for how this strange gyroscopic effect can be used to actually pull his airplane out of the airflow, allowing it to be literally spinning around the propeller. This allows the travel back and forth from the traditional world of flying in air to the world of spinning tops that do not pay attention to the expected rules of flight. So all sorts of science going into this, a lot of thought has to go into this, and so much training as well. You see the Sukhoi, it's a single seat aircraft, so that's a whole other variable too, right? How you get checked out in the Sukhoi with a single seat, so definitely a good player there. But this aircraft has a lot of kind of fun history, I'll say. I love telling this story about the Sukhoi. You see, it's a former Soviet Union aircraft, and it made its public debut back in '89, but you see, there's a limitation on this plane, which is crazy to say, because this thing has pretty much no limitations in the aerobatic world, but that limitation is the fact that it has a really small main fuel tank. So the Soviets were quite aware that pirates might try to defect in it, so they kept the standard fuel supply small enough to give only an hour of range. Then they would issue pilots an extended range belly tank if a longer flight became necessary. Kind of makes me giggle, right? You can share that one later too. Alright, so back to the amazing capability of this aircraft here. So since there were only about 60 of these built, their presence is gradually decreasing, and this is the only aircraft of its type that you'll see in air shows in North America. The Su-26 was the first aircraft to be built of advanced composites and was the result of a wing that's been tested to withstand, get this, over 26 Gs before failure. 26 Gs. Holy cow. So it's actually geared down so it can turn the largest propeller that will clear the ground. The results in aircraft that can almost hover like a helicopter. The power on stall speed is close to zero, but it can also fly at 280 miles per hour. The seat in this thing is also reclined too, so it actually makes it more comfortable for them as they're trying to perform these maneuvers, and it gives them more tolerance. So all sorts of engineering going into the build of these aircraft. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last pass by the Sukhoi. Here it is. Take your snapshots. Oh, he's rocking and rolling up there in the skies here at McGuire Air Force Base. Rick would like to thank his sponsors for 2023. Parker Aerospace has provided all the fuel and oil lines. Cleveland Brakes has given him immense stopping power. And Butler Parachutes provides Rick with the best and most reliable high-speed parachute available. Trig Avionics keeps Rick in perfect communication with control towers and gives him a way to be tracked by GPS. Also, Clarity Aloft headsets completely tame at the 126 decibel sound level and are so light that Rick's neck is not overstressed during high G maneuvers. So, big shout out to his wife Trish, also for years of understanding his competition mindset. She's a flyer too, and she's been out here with us today and this whole weekend. So, shout out to Rick Volker. I love that performance. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause for Rick Volker.